Guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, this is going to be part 2 to the video I did yesterday about a guy who discovered a tape that his wife had made when she was in college, having relations with a whole bunch of different guys and another woman. And basically what happened, this is a quick recap, he freaked out because basically for their entire marriage of 7 years, she was as boring as can be in the bedroom. She was, as he described her, as picky and prudish. She wouldn't do anything. Meanwhile, in the video, she was doing every possible thing you could even think of. Okay, it was like something you'd see on some of those websites. Okay, and she had obviously lied to him, saying that she only been one other guy. So he completely lost it, confronted her on it, and the whole thing was about him not understanding why she wouldn't do all those things with him. After all, he was her husband. And what I explained at length in the video was basically the reason she wasn't doing anything for him is because she settled for him. Plain and simple. And that's how so many women do settle for guys, and that's why pretty much in their marriage they're not getting shit. Okay, that's just how it goes. And why I warn you guys not to, if you're in your 30s and all of a sudden women that wouldn't have given you the time of day are giving you the time of day, is because they see you as marriage material. They see you as a paycheck, okay? And you're not going to get anything in the bedroom department in your marriage. Trust me on this. Unless she sees you as a prize. So the video ended with him, because this is going to be 3 parts, because otherwise it'd be an hour-long video, and I'm not going to do that. The video ended yesterday where basically he had moved out, and he was thinking about consulting with his brother, who's a lawyer, about his options. And he was also thinking about potentially doing an open marriage. And so we're going to jump right back into where it was. So he starts off, I read all your responses. I have to say a couple things because please actually read my post, not read and what you think it says. In no way did I feel entitled to sex, nor do I care about her past. Bullshit. Bullshit. That guy absolutely cares about her past. You are not kidding anybody, dude. I'm upset about the deception. Please stop wasting my time. I thought long and hard about this, and although we have our issues, I'm willing to work past them. Yeah, right, dude. I still think she is a great mother and life partner. For those reasons, I will try to work things out with her. I decided that the best course of action would be to pursue an open marriage agreement, so that way I don't have to have her drudge through sex with me that she doesn't already enjoy. And if she wants, someone she can share her wild sex with, and she can do that as well. And I can find someone who fulfills me sexually as well. That is going to be the biggest mistake ever, okay? If they're at a point, if he's at a point that he wants to have an open marriage, it's already over. I mean, come on here, okay? Because what's he going to do? Does he expect that he's going to go on the dating apps and she's going to go on the dating apps and he's going to be flooded with women that are going to want to hook up with him left and right? No. What's going to happen is she'll go on the dating apps and he'll go on the dating apps, and if she is remotely good looking, because I'm guessing they're in their 30s, she'll start getting lots and lots of guys contacting her, and she'll be going out and doing everything and hooking up left and right, and it's going to kill him. Meanwhile, he'll get, if he's a good-looking guy, he may get some, but it's not going to come close to the attention she's going to get. It's going to be easy for her, and he's going to lose his mind. And even if he's a good-looking guy, can attract some women to go out with him initially, they may pick up real quickly his personality, which caused his wife in the first place to basically settle for him and give him the absolute bare minimum in the bedroom. So he's not going to win. So that's not going to go very well. And of course, the fact that he's going to still be resentful of her, and it's going to, so it's just not a good idea. You best just end it. But he doesn't see it that way. He says, I'm not believing a lot of the things she is saying, and rightfully so. She has lied for 7 years, so now she will be judged on her actions, not her words. Some of you guys mentioned that it may be infidelity on her part. So I end up calling her. I told her I want to work things out. I end up coming back home for a bit. Summary of our conversation. These aren't quotes. We talked for hours, so here you go. By him calling her and saying that he wants to work things out instead of the other way around, immediately he's lost a lot of his leverage. Immediately. He says, starts off, this is the conversation, the recap. He says, my trust in you has been shaken, and I'm doubting if you were faithful to me throughout our marriage, and for that reason, I want to get a DNA test on our daughter, for our daughter. Wow. Well, that takes balls. Good for him. The wife says, I swear I didn't sleep with anyone else. I am sorry about the lying, but I did not sleep with anyone. He says, then why does it matter? I want it for peace of mind. I deserve that much. And the wife says, that's fine. He says, I don't want another child, at least not now. If our marriage gets better, maybe in a couple of years, we can reconsider. It's not going to get better. The wife starts crying for a while. Our original goal was to have 3 kids, but I don't want to bring any more kids until we have a stable household. Eventually, she stops crying after I start to walk out. Wife agrees to the condition. Notice what happens when he starts laying down the law, saying, I want the DNA test. She says, no, I want the DNA test. Okay. And then he basically says, I want to do this, I want to do that. And then he starts to walk out. Then at that point, in that moment, she agrees to the condition. Okay. You got to play hardball sometimes, guys. That's just how it is. And you got to be willing to walk away. You're not getting terms you want. Things don't go the way you want. You got to be willing to walk away, and that is it. That is the only way that you're going to have the perceived as strength. So in this particular moment, I want to emphasize that he is exhibiting some strength. He goes on, I understand you have had a wild past, and I don't want you to have to do things with me that you don't want to do. Although you say you want to do them now, you will always harbor resentment. You didn't want to do it for 7 years, and I understand that. This guy says, I understand way too much. I would ask you why you felt that way. I'm curious as to why you don't want to do those things with me. But no matter what you tell me, I don't believe what you say. This guy still hasn't caught on to the fact that she settled for him. And she hasn't, and she's never going to say that. Guarantee she's never going to say, I want to get married, I want to have a family, I was in my 30s or getting close to 30, biological clock's going crazy. You were a sure thing. I knew how to do as little as possible to get you. She's never going to say that, but that's what really happened here. And he doesn't get it. And most guys don't get that. Most guys, as I said in the video, they think, oh, this good-looking woman wants me. Now's finally my shot. I got her. Yay. No, you didn't get her. Because she doesn't see this the same way as she did the other guys. She doesn't treat you the same way as the other guys. And she sure as hell is not going to fuck you the same way as the other guys. And how many guys watching this right now have been married and been in a situation just like that? You guys know what I'm talking about. You know, you've been through it. You're shaking your head saying, yeah, I know. You're not going to do that again, are you? And there's other guys watching this that are thinking, no, not my wife. Yes, your wife. She says, this is the wife's retort. She says, I swear it's not because of you. I didn't want you to think I was a SLUT. I want to do those things with you. What a lie. She is trying to save the marriage because she doesn't want to obviously be alone, lose the meal ticket, and obviously kind of have to go through that kind of embarrassment. He says, I tried for 7 years. Trying out a new position wouldn't have made you sluttier. Look, you obviously have your reasons, but even if you do want to do them in the back of my head, I will always think you're doing it out of guilt. No matter what that type of sex will always be tainted with you. So for that reason, I don't want to try anything new with you sexually. You didn't want to do those for 7 years. All this video showed me is you like doing those things in the past with other people. Look, I mean, here's the deal. She wants to have a little fun. He can have a little fun. But at the end of the day, if he's not feeling it in terms of like, it's just he's so turned off by her personality, what he saw her do, the lying, all that, again, just get out of there. He says, the wife says, I still want to do them. We can work it out. I swear I want it. How can I prove it to you? He has a golden opportunity to have all the freaky shit he ever wants to have done right there in that moment. And then he can leave. He says, that thought will always linger. Look, let's just ignore it. I would rather open up our marriage. You can sleep with other people. I can sleep with other people. We can set ground rules, but I don't want me or you to have to be sexually repressed anymore. This guy is kidding himself if he thinks that he's going to be able to handle it with her out there with so many different dudes. It's going to happen. Or to think that he's going to just be, have women, pussy falling down from the sky for him and he's going to have a great old time. It's not going to happen. The wife says, I don't want to sleep with anyone other than you. And I don't want you to sleep with other women. I can give you anything you can get with those women. He says, well, I do want to sleep with other women. And it's not just the specific act, but the fact that they want to do it. Sex means a lot more to me than the sensation. He sounds like a woman. To me, it makes me feel desirable. It's a validation of love. See? He sounds like a girl. Look, you can say what you want, whether you like doing something or not. If you don't like giving BJs, that's fine, but the fact that you put up getting double teamed for 2 random schmucks, but won't do that for your own husband, hurts me. It's one thing you didn't do for anyone, but that's not the case. I would like to know your reasoning, but even if you tell me the truth, I'll think you're lying. I want that validation since I haven't gotten that from you. I will get it from other people. So I get that he obviously wants someone to want him, to actually be attracted to him and all that. You know, I mean, I get that. But the way he's saying it and going on here, he sounds like a girl. The wife says, I'm not going to go through with this. This is going to ruin our marriage. Well, sweetheart, the marriage is ruined. It's already toast. I don't want you to sleep with anyone. Why can't we try working on our marriage? You can't force yourself to feel something for somebody. Always, you have these things about let's work on the marriage and go to counseling. You can't. It's not a light switch. You can't switch it on and all of a sudden you're going to have feelings for each other. Or if someone is just had enough, they've had enough. That's it. He says, look, I'll give you a couple of days to decide if you want to go through with it. If you don't, that's fine. I wouldn't mind giving up on our marriage either. Damn. The wife says, I want to save our marriage, but this is not okay with me. He says, those are my conditions. If you don't want to follow through with them, then let me know. I really want to divorce, but this is the only arrangement I see it working. I'm going back. Let me know if you're okay with my request. If you want to go to counseling, you can go. I'm not wasting my money on that. Counseling is a waste of time. So that's that. I don't know if opening up our marriage is the right course of action, but to me, it's just about the only thing I can consider. Well, again, he's laying down the law. In that moment, he's laying down the law, saying, hey, I want the open marriage and all that. And basically, if not, hey, we're going to get divorced. But again, like I said, this guy's fooling himself. But you see, he has little moments here where he's kind of laying down the law with her, which is probably the only balls he's ever shown probably the entire time they've known each other. But since obviously he spent so long being weak and a pushover, and that guy that she settled for, she's not going to buy into and believe in. You're going to see as the story goes on today and in part 3 tomorrow. Now I list some things that my wife told me. I don't know how true they are. I learned my wife was promiscuous in high school and in college. Really? You're that's what you learned? You didn't figure that out already, dude? But after she moved to a new city, she wanted to put it all behind her. There was no trauma involved. Never was raped, assaulted, coerced. She just thought guys looking to marry wanted a lady in the bed. No guy wants to have a lady in the bed. They want the freak. She wasn't aware she had the video. Supposedly, it was from when she was moving from college and it got lost. She wasn't ever planning on telling me about her past. It was a secret she was going to take to her grave. If she didn't want the video, she would have destroyed the video back then. Come on here. And this whole nonsense that, she thought that guys wanted to marry a lady in the sheets. What a load of crap. I hope he's not buying into this. I told you guys how I feel. If you have any ideas on how to fix our marriage, please share. I told you how I feel about sex and what it means to me. I don't want you to tell me that I'm wrong for having those feelings. Besides, divorce/open marriage, do you have any suggestions? And don't tell me marriage counseling, it's a waste of money. Well, he's right about that. If you haven't been there, then please don't recommend me. I told my wife if she wants to go for individual counseling, she's welcome to, but I won't be joining her. Then he continues on with an update. He says, it's over. I talked to her on the phone. We tried to have a sincere talk about her feelings. I tried my best to understand where she was coming from. But at the end of it, I don't believe a word she said. I couldn't. I told her I can't. Trust and intimacy are broken. The more I think about it, more it creeps into my mind. And I can't be with someone where I second guess myself. Looking for other women for validation won't work. I don't want to torture her for her past either. I learned what a good bit from this relationship, and I will take that with me to the women I meet in the future. If I meet a girl and she doesn't satisfy me sexually, I'm not going to wait for her to open up or overlook it. I realized over the years of being married to my wife how much suppressing my desires got to me and how it made me an angry person. Well, at least in this moment, in terms of him reflecting on the situation, he's realizing the mistakes he made. And that's anything you can do. You make mistakes, you learn from them, end of story. But the fact that he said that he thought things would get better with her, he was out of his damn mind, but he was young and naive. At least he's learning that. He says, regarding divorce, I'm going to talk to my brother in person. This brother is the lawyer. I've asked him to come over. I don't want this to be a blown-out family ordeal, but I could at least use his support. Wife has a skin condition that my insurance has been covering. I'm not going to try to deprive her of that, and hopefully I can make arrangements so she can continue getting treatment after we separate. I will use this as the bargaining chip in divorce arrangements. If she won't grant me joint custody or won't do a fair split of the assets. Wife still wants to make things work. I told her I am drained. I still love her, but I don't think she loves me, and for that reason, I can't stay. Intimacy to me is an expression of love, and she gave it to other people, but was reserved with me. You might have a different view, but that's how I see it. I've already made moves financially. I'm going to start communicating with her through emails, so I have a solid log of all our interactions. Very smart. I'm sure he didn't think of that himself. Probably his brother, who's a lawyer, told him to do that. And now there's a little update. It says the wife has constantly been calling. Her mother called me recently and told me I need to meet with her before she hurts herself. I don't know what to do. I tried calling her and she's panting, crying, and sounds self-destructive at this point. I want to take her daughter from that environment. I don't know what to do at this point. So the wife's having a full-on meltdown, and that usually typically happens in situations like this. You know, it's interesting, guys. And for those of you guys that have been married or done serious relationships in your life, whether you are young, you know, in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever it happens to be, I'm sure you're all aware that you've had arguments, you've had fights, and a lot of times, first of all, the arguing and fighting doesn't work because they get psychotically emotional and cry, and the emotions go all over the place, and you're not going to win. You can't reason with that. But let's just say they get caught doing something that obviously they shouldn't have. That's when the waterworks happen, and it can get crazy. The crying, the this and that, and it's the slobbering and the blah, you know. That's always the last resort. You know, it's funny when you see little girls, kids, especially little girls, they can whip out tears like that. Just like that. They learn young to do this shit. It's all manipulation, okay? And the fact that his mother-in-law is calling and saying, I'm worried she's going to hurt herself, she's helping her daughter out. But the point that all this is going is, guys, is that this guy, he needs to end it. End of story, okay? He's never going to get that image out of her head. She lied to him about her past. You know, and here's the thing, like, everybody's going to have a past. I get that. But the thing is, if you're going to marry somebody, you got to be honest about some things. If the dude asks you, you know, you got to tell, don't just say, she shouldn't just say, I was with one guy. At the best, she said, yeah, I had partners, and leave it at that. And if he really dug and wanted to know, then she should have told him. But still, the fact that all those years, he was getting the absolute bare minimum instead of all the other things he wanted to try, and she said she doesn't want to do that, and blah 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 blah. Come on here, you cannot blame the guy at all for being furious about that on so many different levels, and now he just sees things completely different. And he, even if he doesn't realize it, I'm sure some part of him knows that she obviously settled for him, that he in no way was her first choice of a guy, second, third, fourth, or fifth choice of type of guy that she wanted to marry. She got a guy because she wanted to have a husband, because most women want to have a husband because they can have that status that some guy wanted them more than just fucking them, someone to actually put a ring on their finger, and then obviously she can then have kids with and do that whole shit that most women want to do. Because that's what the movies and TV tell you what to do. You know, you get married, have the white picket fence, and the dog and the cat, and the kids in the suburbs. Okay, and somebody gets sucked into that. So for getting this guy, it was easy because I guarantee she was out of his league. I guarantee he saw her as a prize, so she didn't have to do anything. This is why I tell you guys, when you get older, if you spent your 20s and you weren't getting the time of day by women, when you get to your 30s, be careful, because these pretty girls that once wouldn't give you the time of day, now they're after you. It's not because they're all of a sudden hot for you. They're looking to settle. End of story. You need to do your thinking in here, not there. Recently, I started watching the show Vikings from the History Channel. I've been watching a lot of shows during COVID because I'm obviously home more often. And it's an awesome show. I highly recommend it. Very badass. And the episode I watched last night in the second season, the main character, Ragnar, he's the top guy. He's the Earl. He's advising his son about women. He says, let me give you some fatherly advice. Do your thinking in here, not down there. Because he could see that his son was falling for some girl and she was jerking him around, and he was a very wise ruler, not to mention a bad dude. That's the point. Do your thinking in here, not down there. But a lot of guys in their 30s, finally some girl wants me, finally a pretty one wants to settle with me, yay. No, she's settling with you, you're not going to get shit. And this guy, he needs to just walk away and end it, okay? The open marriage thing, there is no way he's going to be able to handle it. Because, trust me, she's going to be riding the carousel all over again. That won't be a problem for her. For him, and it's not going to be the same in any way, shape, or form. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. Tomorrow I'll do part 3, and you're going to see where this finally, how this ends, and we'll go from there. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this, and be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.